Hello, gorgeous people. How are you? Today I'm a bit wet because I've just been outside with the dogs and it slashed down a summer storm. It was absolutely beautiful and I feel quite cool and nice. So I'm not going to dry my hair. I'm going to let it stay wet and I can stay slightly cooler. So today I'm talking about the Great Reset. Okay, that's a documentary that's out in Spain and that we went to see in Madrid in a theatre last night. So I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So 2 years ago, here in Spain, a guy said that he wanted to make a documentary called The Big Reset. I think that's what it's called, The Big Reset. And even though he made it in Spanish, he called it The Big Reset, okay? And so he got crowdfunding and we all helped to create this documentary. So finally, after it took him a year and a half to make it, he had lots of issues and lots of attacks, as you can imagine, but finally it came out. The difference is that it has been in all of the major cities in Spain. Not only has it been in all the major cities in Spain, but it has been packed out. Every single showing was at maximum. No more tickets available. So last night was the last night that it's going to be shown. After that, it's going to start being offered online, I think, and things like that. So we took the opportunity because it was in Madrid. We went to see it. So we got there really late. There was a traffic jam. We were worried that it had already started because it was supposed to start at 8:15. When we got there at 8:45, there's this massive queue outside of the theatre. Massive queue. What was interesting was the theatre had big screens. In Madrid, there's all screens everywhere. And they were advertising loads and loads of different films. But they weren't advertising The Big Reset. Nothing. There was no sign of The Big Reset being in that building. And yet there's this queue that went out of the theatre and round the corner. Big long queue. We were right at the end. So we said, what? Because I thought maybe there's more screens, because you get used to having like 50 screens in a cinema. And said, oh no, we're here for the Big Reset. The place was chocker. I mean, imagine a theatre. You've got all the downstairs. I don't know how many people. 1,000 people sitting. And then you've got the second balcony and the third balcony. All full. All full. And I had already, because after a while you start becoming a little bit, doubtful about things. So I'm saying to myself, how is it that something like this is, full conspiracy, how is it that it's allowed to be in the centre of Madrid, the capital of Spain? How in a big theatre? Actually, the theatre is called Capitol. Okay, how is it? I'd already heard a little rumour that this was, in fact, Wikipedia, when it talks about the dissonance, controlled dissonance. Wikipedia cites the Big Reset as controlled dissonance. It says it's when the baddies actually are pretending to be goodies. Yeah, incredible. So I was there. I was waiting for something not to vibrate well. Okay, then we got there. We're talking to all the people. All these people awakened. I mean, 1,000. I don't know, in the centre of Madrid, and it's not the first night showing. It's the last night. So it started, and it just talked about really, I suppose it's like Conspiracy 101. It's all about the COVID, why it started, who started it, the thing that they did in the September beforehand, the 201 thing where they all got together, they did a simulation, all about this, all about the effects of it, the metal, that, not graphite, but I won't say the word, that's in there, proof that it's there, proof that people are coming up on Bluetooth when they've had it. Just an expert after expert after expert. Nothing. There was nothing in there that I would think, ooh, or maybe they're just trying to. No. It was absolutely great. It had, like, we're going to overcome this, and it showed all of the people all over the world rising up. It was beautiful. The funny bit was when Pedro Sanchez, who was the president of Spain, and he's just like Macron, Trudeau. They're all the same. I see photos of them kissing one another. They're all the same. These good-looking people, robots who just follow the agenda. And Klaus Schwab appeared, not in a good light. So when Pedro Sanchez appeared, the crowd went wild. Boo, boo, hiss, boo, hiss, boo. It was just like a proper theatre thing. He's behind you. No, he's in front of you. It was lovely. So, I took a few things away from that. One was, hang on a minute. This is coming out. This is in the centre of Madrid. Okay, this is in the centre of Madrid. A prestigious theatre that's allowing this to be shown. And it's not the first time. They've had repeated showings. All of them have been full. There's a lot of us now. This is not like it used to. I went to a talk. One of the guys who appears in The Big Reset, he's a doctor, like a retired doctor. We went to see him 2 years ago, and we went to see him, and he was doing a tour, and he was talking about the same things, and there were maybe 40 of us there, 40, and I just thought, wow, we are the few. We are very few. And then 2 years later, I go to the theatre, and it's chocker. And you know what was even more interesting? All ages. Before, it used to be like elderly people. Like people. That's just what I used to see. Like people my age and above. No, it was packed with young people, all ages. It was incredible. It was lovely. And so what I took away from it was that we're in a very different place now. We really are in a different place. There is so much of an awakening happening, and I'll talk about what the emissaries were talking about this, but in the next video, not in this one. There's so much happening. Really, we are in a pivotal moment, I believe. This is a pivotal moment. This is where what you would call sort of off stream becomes mainstream. That's what I see. We're at a place where the majority, we're going to tip, and where the majority believe what we believe and the minority don't believe it. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when we're there? And I don't think it's that far away. When the majority are on the same page as we are. How will that feel? When you go out and the majority of people you see are going to be on the same page. Let me tell you something else that happened. So, here in Spain, if you take public transport, you've still got to wear the fucking mask, yeah? So, what happened was, just after the plane incident that I had, I kind of made a decision in my head, and I thought, no matter what they do, I'm not wearing the mask anymore. I'm not going to wear it. I've got an exemption from a doctor. Yeah, I've got it translated from English into Spanish. I thought, but to do that, you've got to have a lot of balls. And quite often, your mind's saying, well, do I want hassle, or should I do I want to just go and do my thing, without any hassle? But I decided no. So when we were going there, I put my mask in my pocket with the intention of not putting it on. And so we went into the metro. Okay, we had to get the metro. So first of all, I'm thinking, hang on, the metro's not public transport, that's the metro. Yeah, public transport is when you get onto the train. So I'll just go down with no mask on. So I went down. And what I would say is that where I was on the train, I would say there was about 5% of the people not wearing a mask. or wearing it on the chin. I thought, that's interesting. Yeah, 5%, 10%. Yeah. We got on the train, and as the train was pulling in, I just did a quick, like eyes like this. When you're trying to follow a train, the eyes are going like this. And I kept seeing every now and again somebody without a mask on the train. I thought, brilliant, that's because that's exactly what I'm going to do. So Cynthia and I got on, no mask on. And what I noticed was this, because everybody else had the mask on. But as we got into the centre, trust me, and as the night progressed, there's something about nighttime, people don't wear them as much on a nighttime. There were more and more people without a mask on. But on the metro, the people that didn't have a mask all had the same look on their face. You could see it, because you couldn't see the look on the face of anybody else. You just see the shifty eyes, because they're all covered like that. It's shifty eyes. Yeah, one eye going to the shop, the other one coming back, like Ben Turpin. So not everybody was like that, of course. So I'm looking at the people, and they've got this fuck off look on the face. I don't give a fuck. Truly, and maybe I was projecting that onto them, but that's what I saw. Like people just sitting on the mobile. I don't give a fuck. I'm not wearing the mask, and I don't give a fuck. That's what I could see. The people who were putting the mask on, and lots of people with it here, and thinking, well, what's the point of that? Don't, either do it or don't do it. Don't do that, because that's just stupidity. That's just being silly. And yeah, it was wonderful. And then when we came back on the way back, loads of people on the night time. We were there. We arrived at 8 o'clock at night, and we came back at 12 o'clock. Loads of people. Like nobody in the metro before they got on the train had the mask on. Nobody on the way back. On the way there, 90% of them had the mask on. What's that about? Different kind of person? I don't know. So again, and it's law that you have to, supposedly mandated, whatever. It's not law, but you're supposed to wear it on pain of fine. Yet nobody was doing it. Loads of people not. So again, what that says to me is this: we're in a place where people aren't scared anymore. It's in Spanish they say paripé. It's just doing it for appearances, and people are getting tired of that as well. It's like, what's the point of that? So, en resumen, as they say here in Spain, in resume, I think we are in a fab place. It really lifted my spirits up, because I don't often go out, and I certainly don't go into Madrid very often, but this time I saw nobody in the street wore a mask. Nobody. I mean, the odd curiosity, but nobody was wearing a mask either. It's like, that's done, thank you very much. And we've done our bit, and now we've had enough. So, we're in incredibly exciting times, guys. Incredibly exciting. Don't think that you're alone. Don't think that there's only you. We are many, and we are multiplying faster than a bacteria in a petri dish. That's the way that we are. We're like that. We're like a bowl of yeast, fermenting yeast, unstoppable. Yeah. And I wish a case of yeast infection on all of the baddies. That would be good. Just as a starter. That's my bit. That would be my what I would bring to the table. Yeast infection for the lot of them, in the mouth and in the genitals. And then after that, it's up to God what he wants to sort out in terms of balancing out the karma. But I think a good yeast infection would just sort that out. Yeah. So that's all. I'll see you all later on in the week. Bye bye.